While Usborne is really, really good at their nonfiction, they are also so good at taking some well-known classics and making them more accessible to younger children. They're printed in an easier to read format, the writing is a little bit easier to understand, and there's a higher picture to text ratio. So I'm going to show you some of my favorite illustrated books. The first one, this is for younger children. This is Aesop's Stories for Little Children. They're all of our illustrated books are bound so nicely. They have ribbon bookmarks. This one has many stories, Aesop's classic stories that have such good lessons and morals, and this is one of my very favorites. Another one that came out in the last year and has been just so popular is our 5-minute bedtime stories. These books really are 5 minutes long. They're perfect for reading at bedtime, and there are a lot of really cute stories in here. When this book came out, we also had a book come out that was 10 10-minute stories, and that book has just been so popular, and we just released 10 more 10-minute stories. This book is not only gorgeous, but it has some of my favorite stories from my childhood in it. We've got The Emperor's New Clothes, Rumpelstiltskin, Jack and the Beanstalk, Tom Thumb, The Goose Girl, The Tinder Box. That was the table of contents. All of the stories are illustrated by different artists, and so the art style is a little bit different. And you can see that there's a really high picture to text ratio, and these are great 10-minute stories for reading aloud before bedtime. Then for some older children, we have some really, really beautiful illustrated books. And these are great for advanced readers who are a little bit younger, who need more advanced writing but maybe aren't quite ready for the content of those books. This one is our illustrated stories from Shakespeare. You can see that is a big, thick book. And we've got comedies and tragedies. This one contains Twelfth Night, A Midsummer Night's Dream, Hamlet, Macbeth, Romeo and Juliet, and the Tempest. And these are all retold for easy reading. Here are a couple of sample pages from the inside. So you can see that there is definitely a high picture-to-text ratio. It's going to make these classic stories really, really accessible to younger children who are well on their way to being high-level readers. We just came out with 3 new illustrated books, and I'm really excited about them. This is one of them, Illustrated Classics. This has Huckleberry Finn and 5 other stories. So there's 6 stories in here. In addition to Huckleberry Finn, we've got Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, Kidnapped, King Solomon's Mines, White Fang, and Phantom of the Opera. You can see it's a thick book, beautiful cover, a ribbon bookmark. And I'll show you some pages from the inside. So you can see, again, there's a really high picture-to-text ratio. And just is going to make these classic stories accessible to our younger children. Another one that is brand new is Illustrated Fables from Around the World. This has lots of stories in it. I'll give you a sneak peek at the content, the table of contents. All of these fables come from all different countries around the world. We've got Fire of the Jaguar. You can see a plain text page from the story The Fox Maiden. And let's see, here is another illustrated page. So this one I am really, really excited about, Illustrated Fables from Around the World. And the last book I want to show you, I am just beyond excited about. This is the Usborne Complete Shakespeare, Stories from All the Plays. This book is $24.99, but it's hardbound. There's a ribbon bookmark, and there's so much good stuff in here. I'll show you the table of contents. It lists all of the stories. Almost all of them are told in fully, and then there's a list at the end of those that are told in brief. And then next to each story, there's a little icon, and that indicates whether it's a history, a comedy, or a tragedy. And then at the beginning of each story, they are written in story format, not play format. At the beginning of each one, there is a character map with beautiful illustrations. It's going to talk about who the characters are. You can definitely refer back to this while you're reading the story. This book is is a gem. I'm so excited about it. You can see that there are some of the more famous quotes along the bottom of the page. This book, I just can't wait. I think I might take it with me on a trip this weekend and read it myself. So that is the Usborne Complete Shakespeare. And those are some of our illustrated books that are gorgeous, high quality, and really, really important to have in our homes.